My amplified unit, top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the world, salute. I know it's been a few days since BC's been able to catch up with my unit, so let me just give you a big red team go. Let's rock this, man. Monday Night Raw's review is coming up in this video, man, a little bit later. I have an important cold open to go over first. Now, I've been out of state for the last several days. And I will remain out of state going forward through some production magic. And luckily, I've had some buddies that were traveling down south. I've been able to get the majority of my set down south. So even though it looks a little bit more plain, it's not the exact setup. I got the majority of my backdrop. They even brought down the chair. I requested the chair and said, I'll slip you an extra fucking 20 a piece if you can bring the chair. Not expecting it. I even got the chair, man. So BC's pretty comfortable, and I just knew that I was going to be out of state for the foreseeable future, possibly the next week plus. So if I was going to deliver content, which you guys are definitely getting a lot of content in December, I said we got to do it the right way, man. I got to feel like we're in the amplified unit. So it's good that I was able to get this even fucking many states away, we were able to get this thing rocking, man. So hopefully through production magic, you guys don't notice that much of a change. And we'll be back in our normal setting within the next 2 weeks. But you guys are going to get a lot more content. The last several days is all I really needed for bulk days. I literally could not make any vids. I tried Sunday, and it just I just couldn't get the time. So that's why there was no, I didn't speak at all about Dynamite last week. That's why there was no Smackdown review. And that's why this Raw review is so late. But you are going to get a full Raw review in this very video, guys, coming up. But we got to talk about a very, very, very important cold open. And that is the ratings. You guys know this is a ratings, a metrics, a numbers, a statistics channel. Many channels in the community are opinion-based, and that's fine. Here, we are fact-based. It's a podcast. We're going to have a lot of opinions, no doubt, but they stem from facts, right? We all need to be based upon one fact after another. If you just have everybody just throwing opinions at one another, that's not fun. That's just fucking anarchy. That's absolutely a shit show. It's a clown fest. You know, we want to have facts presented in front of us so that we can have logical conversations and literally talk about what is good and what is not good. Not what we like and what we don't like. What is good in helping the business, the industry, the shows, and what is not good. What is hurting the shows. What is crushing the industry. And you can't come to those conclusions unless we have facts. Today, everybody just wants to throw out their opinions. Everybody has 140 characters, they have platforms, and everybody just wants to give opinions. We need more facts, and that's what, when I started this channel, I said, you know what, we have to be fact-based, man. We can have opinions, and we'll talk our opinions, but without facts, then there's no need to have a fucking channel. I'm not helping create a solution to help pro wrestling. I'm just a part of the problem at that point. So, Numbers matter on this channel especially. One of the last, if not the last channel before I actually had to leave state, head down south, was about the Monday Night Raw rating last week. And we talked about how it was post-Survivor Series. It was Becky Lynch's return to Monday Night Raw. And you had no real competition other than the norm Monday Night Football. I mean, everything was sitting in their lap, and yet they pulled in a 1.6 semod. That wasn't even in the realms. Anybody that follows trajectory and numbers, we had Raw bare minimum pegged at 1.8, and they pulled in just over a 1.6. And we said, how the fuck? I mean, what do? You can't go any lower. Do you honestly start going into the 1.5s, 1.4s? Guys, the Monday Night Raw rating just came in. And this is such a sad number that for a second there, I was thinking to myself, how can I work around giving you guys this number? But sometimes it's just easier to rip the Band-Aid right off and just tell you guys what it was. As sad as this is, Monday Night Raw for December 5th, 2022. Last night's Raw scored a 1.536. 1.536. They are now at the low end of 1.5s already. 1,536,000 viewers. 0.41 in the 18 to 49. They fell out of the top 5 on all of cable. They came in at the number 6 spot. 1.536. They lost 125,000-ish viewers from just last week. 125,000 coming off of Survivor Series War Games where you're supposed to electrify your crowd. No more holidays or Thanksgiving here in the States. Done. Post-War Game Survivor Series. The Becky Lynch is coming back to Raw. That was all last week. And we figured the low end that they would get, it was a 1.8. They ended up in the 1.6s last week. The high end of 1.6. And 1 week later, they're at the low end of 1.5. And for everyone that goes, BC is too negative, every single thing I said, if they don't correct the big shit quickly, right? This isn't any of those things that takes time for 3Hs. This is shit that needs to be corrected on day one. Day one, the formula of the show, the redundancy of the show. The formatting of the show all needs to be changed on day one. Then you get your creative minds together. You start building up your wrestlers. You start to pick and choose your places for certain individuals. Kickstart the storylines. The 5th month of Triple H is no time to say, it's just going to take a few more months, maybe a few years, but he's correcting Vince's wrongs. No. I'm seeing the bigger issues not even be touched yet. And I told you guys, it's not negativity. I'm telling you, I follow numbers, statistics, metrics, the ratings. They're in a downward spiral to degrees we've never seen before. That they're even astonishing numbers, guys like BC, who last week said they can't fall any more than a 1.8. I don't think that would happen. And they go to a 1.6. And then I go, well, shit, they'll regroup to a lower end of 1.7s at least this week. And they dip even further into the lower 1.5s. And everybody will have the excuses. I totally understand. I don't know if soccer's still going on. The World Cup, I have no idea. But they'll say, or replays of the World Cup, or live content. They'll say it was Monday Night Football, even though the majority of that game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Saints was absolutely sloppy as shit. Unless it was the last 5 minutes when the game finally picked up. It was sloppy. Nobody was going out of their way if there were not a Tampa Bay or a New Orleans fan to watch that. Not even for Thomas Brady. Football, something to do with World Cup, I'm sure, they'll say. Maybe it was National Aunties Day, National Best Friends Day, National Pick Your Fucking Ass Day. Who the fuck knows? Somebody will have a holiday as an excuse, right? You're going to hear 5 different excuses as to why Monday Night Raw shit the bed on a whole nother level, because that's what they did. This was the lowest hour in show history, guys. According to Brandon Thurston, hour number 3 averaged into the 1.2s. 1.2s. Total viewers, it was the lowest since you'd have to go back to October. Again, I think there was one time where they hit a 1.4, and there was 3 reasons for that. I gave a little bit of a mulligan, but only a little. You still have to blame yourself if you pull a 1.4. But as far as hourly, a 1.2. Earth-shattering low from Monday Night Raw. And I use the word funny, not in its legit term, trust me, it's the opposite. That my last video I made before I had to leave state was a Monday Night Raw viewership video, and how I couldn't fathom that they didn't at least hit 1.8 post-war games. Becky Lynch is showing up. You only got the Monday Night Football game to worry about, and somehow they somehow they got crushed even less than a 1.8, and they went into the 1.6s. And that was the last video I made until this one. And then somehow they went into the 1.5s. I mean, people think I joke about it when I say, what's next? We're eventually going to hit 1.4s and 1.5s. And people go, it's never going to go that low, BC. I understand 1.9 and 2 million is not good. Or 2 and 2.1 is not good. And then it went to 1.9 and 2. Then they started hitting 1.8s, and people were like, oh, fuck, that's not good. But BC ain't hit 1.5s and 1.4s, so relax. And then they hit 1.7s, and people are still refusing to believe that this is possible. And here we are. Guys, if they lost 36 more thousand viewers last night, they were into the 1.4s. 1.4s. And then what? You keep going lower. There's no signs. People say, oh, after football, it goes back. Do you guys understand what trajectory means? Do you guys understand that they're losing viewers? It doesn't matter. When football is done, now they can only hope to get back the 1.8s to 1.9s tops. What I'm saying to you is they're going to struggle to even get 2 million, guys. They're going to struggle to get 2 million viewers now when Monday Night Football is over. Watch. Whereas if they were producing good shows, keeping their audience, gaining more audience, they would be fucking around with 2.2, 2.3, 2.4s. We'd be talking about an upswing toward 2.5. Instead, we're talking about 1.5. And football's not done for a while. Are we really going to dip to a 1.3, 1.4 in the next several weeks? Is that really what we're doing under 3H's? No, McMahon was no better, you can say, but ratings-wise for Raw, he was. This time last year, pulling in over 1.7s and 1.8s. 1.5.3. This is your 3H's, all these changes that you've seen. The formula, Monday Night Raw, the show still sucks. Last night was a chore to get through still, right? And there were some things, actually, you might be shocked at what I'm going to say I enjoyed from last night. But for the positivity police, I'm actually going to give you some positives from last night's show. But there was a hell of a lot of shit that we got to talk about that was not good. That's a chore. 3 hours we have to get through. And it's no longer, oh, BC's just so negative. He's just a frustrated podcaster because he doesn't get his type of wrestling. It's clear the majority is speaking out now by just not tuning in. They keep on falling. Survivor Series was just within a week or two ago. How the fuck are they back at back? I can't even say back. Only a few times they've ever hit 1.5. This is still astonishing when I see a 1.5 for a Monday Night Raw. And I think, how can it go lower? Well, there are only 36,000 viewers from going less than that. And this has just been a horrible week for pro wrestling as a whole. We started last week with the Raw rating. That somehow went into the 1.6s post-War Games. Then you went into Dynamite. That somehow fell into the, I believe that was like 800,000s. They lost viewers. Dynamite took a fucking beating in the ratings. Smackdown had to get switched over to FS1. We thought, okay, they're at least going to pull a 1-2. They pulled a 900,000 viewership. One of, if not the lowest in show history. 900,000 viewers tuned into that Smackdown. How sad is it? The projections were 1.2. How the fuck did they not hit 300,000 extra viewers? How did they not meet that goal, that bare minimum 1.112? I'll even say 1.1. And for those of you new to the channel, we're not just picking numbers. Again, we follow trajectories for these type of things. Even if you get switched over to like FS1, for instance, and you have a pegged bare minimum number, which is, I'll even give you 1.1. 900,000? 15 to 20% viewers less than you thought you were going to get or should have gotten. Dynamite, Raw last week takes a whooping. Dynamite takes a beating. Smackdown takes a crushing. Rampage Rampage, lowest in show history, 361,000 viewers, guys. Rampage got shattered. I don't even know how it's still a show. You could put in Law and Order SVU reruns, and it would probably garner 250,000, and you spend a lot less money. We joked about that when they were at 700,000, 6, 7, whatever it was. Now you look at Rampage pulling in 361,000 viewers, and you're telling me that TNT can keep that show? And when people try to criticize Tony Khan and say, hey, I think it's too much ROH on the show maybe, for Dynamite anyway, and he says, I don't think so at all. In fact, we're putting a lot more on Rampage, and just because you don't like it, tough shit. We think that that's the best formula right now. And you're losing viewers in droves. I just wish that Khan could take some fucking criticism. Your viewers are not liking this much. Clearly. Some people, okay, some of your niche may love all the ROH. But too many are viewing out. They're checking out. I can't believe a pro wrestling show on cable television is garnering only 300,000 viewers, 361. Smackdown and Rampage completely obliterated this week. Smackdown has an excuse. I don't know what Rampage's is. So to recap, Monday Night Raw last week, a 1.6. Dynamite pulls in just over 800,000. SmackDown pulls in 900,000. Rampage pulls in barely 350,000. And Monday Night Raw, the flagship of it all, right? Of pro wrestling as a whole. In terms of cable television for pro wrestling, it's been around for decades, and Raw can't even crack bigger than 1.5. And for everybody that said, Beasley's just so negative, I don't pat myself on the back. I just wish people would wake the fuck up. Everything I said would happen is now coming true. I don't want to be right about this shit. I just know I'm going to be, because I'm not giving you my opinion on this shit. I'm giving you the facts. You cannot like me. You can hate the fact that it's also negative, but it's the truth. If you love pro wrestling, be true and real about it. It is it's been on life support, and it is far past its expiration date. Can it be brought back to life? I don't fucking know at this point. This has been one of the worst weeks for professional wrestling. In terms of viewership, this 1 week alone, we have seen something astronomical happen, and not in a good way. People in the thousands have gotten up and walked away from professional wrestling. That is fucking horrible. These numbers are dreadful, and you will have people that will think of everything. Monday Night Football, World Cup, National Pick Your Fucking Nostrils Day. A president was giving a fucking speech in a flyover state. You'll think of something. Or many things. And you'll wrap it up into a ball and you'll say, don't worry, basically it was just a lot of things, right? It's December, people are getting cold. Instead of watching TV, they're trying to just snuggle under their blankets. It's too cold to even get the remote, basically. Basically, Thanksgiving was 2 weeks ago, and people are still stuffed from the turkey. Basically, Christmas is in 3-4 weeks, and they're gearing up. This has been the worst week for wrestling numbers in the history of professional wrestling. Or at least since the 70s, when we started to see a nice fucking uptick. 80s it took off. 90s was a whole nother fucking planet. 2000s stayed steady. 2010 on just started going dip, dip, dip. And for the last decade, this is what it's led to. And for 5 years, BC has been trying to warn you guys that this was coming. Guess what? Here it is. I can't believe the numbers. And I've been away this whole weekend. and will continue to be. But now at least we got some sense of normalcy here. I got a makeshift studio that feels like the real thing, chair and all. So you guys are going to get full amplification from here on out. But the past several days when these numbers were coming in, Smackdown and Dynamite and Rampage, and I was like, damn, I want to talk about that. I need to talk about this. Is not good. This is a string of 4 shows in a row with the ratings. Raw's got to pick it up big. Raw's got to at least get back to the 1.7s to show a lifeline. And to go backwards to a 1.5, I was not expecting this. I knew Raw was on life support. I knew WWE is in big trouble, numbers-wise, ratings-wise, viewers-wise. People just don't want to watch. People are looking for anything more. Soccer, football, badminton, tennis. They'll go outside and pick up a bad hobby, right? They'll go play in traffic. They'll pick up smoking. They'll do something. Anything than to watch Monday Night Raw. And alarmingly, anything other than to watch wrestling these days. The numbers are horrible, guys, and I hope that even those that don't like to talk about ratings, I hope that now, after hearing this week's numbers, I hope that now you can finally see why they matter. It gives you a great scope. It doesn't matter about cord cutting. It doesn't matter how many people can still maybe find it on Hulu, how many people will just watch the clips on YouTube. That's the point. No longer do you have to sit on primetime television in front of your big screen TV and watch it live the way it's supposed to be. People don't even give a fuck. And let's not act like those YouTube clip numbers for WWE.com or WWE on YouTube. Let's not act like they're any more fucking bigger than they have been in recent years. Don't fool yourself. Wrestling has been on life support. And now the conversation has to be had. When is it time to pull the plug on it? I don't want to see that happen. Channels like this are trying to tell the promoters you have to have fun again. You have to change your formats. You have to get creative. You have to be captivating. You have to end your shows with cliffhangers. Start them with something. Start with a fucking bang that's going to be a ripple effect throughout the show. And then at the end of the show, it's a cliffhanger. Captivate us again. They're not doing that. This is bad. And I'm the only one raising these concerns in this way. And then guess what? And when it comes to a 1.5 and people are shocked, my amplified unit's not. And when they go into 1.4, it's coming. When they go to a 1.4, don't be shocked. I tried to fucking tell you. 1.3, 1.2, are we really going to fuck around going backwards with Dynamite at their high end? Are we going to go into impact numbers when they were pulling in a mill? Is that really where we're at? And we're just supposed to turn a blind eye and say, I don't see what the problem is. Basically, he's raising concerns over nothing. Little dramatic there, basically. Wrestling is just fine. Just an off week, basically. That's an off decade. Now it's just more off than ever before. I got to get to the Raw review now. But I'm absolutely taken back that Raw was this close from going into the 1.4s this week. I still cannot fathom that. So let's get right into this review. Monday Night Raw, December 5th, 2022. The entire first half an hour, a little bit more than the first half an hour, dedicated to a ridiculous tag title match between the Usos and what was supposed to be Matt Riddle and Elias. Now, I know you're wondering, well, what did Elias and Matt Riddle do over the last calendar year to earn themselves a title match? Right back in the day, you would literally earn those things over time, and then you would be involved in an awesome feud, a storyline that would lead up to a title match. It was ridiculous what we did back in the day. Now you just kind of snap your finger, title match. Why? Why would you ask any questions? If you're wondering what they did to earn a title match, guys, nothing at all. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, they kind of said, hey, we should be at a, do you want to tag? I'll tag. And then last week, they're like, all right, let's just tag a couple. Let's see where this goes. Let's be a tag team. And they're already going for tag team gold. I mean, nobody finds this ridiculous. I beg to differ. The Amplified Unit, I know you guys find this absolutely batshit ridiculous. That tag matches are just any title these days. It's just, the show goes on the air and here's a title match. You know, once in a blue moon, okay, you know? You're giving your audience a treat, or it's just to switch things up a little bit. Maybe you want a little bit of a ratings pop. You're going to try anyway. But when it's all the time, I mean, this is just, it's already a non-existent division. The only thing worse than the WWE Tag Team division is the women's tag team division, which literally, the definition of literally is non-existent. But for the men, you got tag teams. It's just, it's absolutely, I can't even, you try to make sense. Like you critique the show, and you want to critique it in the most honorable way possible, so it's doing justice to the wrestlers, to the suits and ties, to the company as a whole. You really want to critique this wholeheartedly. The amplified truth. Not swinging one way all the way to the negative side, and certainly not swinging by the balls of 3H's and being ultra positive. You want to even keel, right down the middle, review the show, right? And at the bare minimum, where we start reviewing is just making sense of what we are watching. Make it believable. Make it realistic. Make it something that would be happening. We're wrestling fans. We'll suspend the fucking disbelief. We'll do that, absolutely. That's why characters like Papa Shango, The Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, you can do ludicrous shit in pro wrestling, and we'll suspend the disbelief. We'll believe it. Just tell us the story and make the ludicrous shit, make that make sense. That's why we believed in Papa Shango or The Undertaker or Bray Wyatt. When the story is told beautifully, we'll believe it. Wrestling fans will absolutely believe what you are giving us, what you're selling us, we will buy it. But you gotta meet us in the middle. If you're giving us nothing, you're just throwing together Elias and Matt Riddle over the past several weeks because you know that Randy Orton isn't coming back anytime soon. And then you threw these two together, and then you're like, hey, let's just throw a tag team match. You know, that's my spiel. I won't go on any longer about it. It's amazing that nobody else is raising a red flag on this. Nobody else wants to speak in depth about it. It's just BC being, I'm the negative one. I'll take a little thing and I'll blow it up. No. That's not what I'm doing. I'm taking a massive thing because it has become a massive problem. It's being done all the time. You could throw together Ricochet and Ali. Again, I think they've already tried to do that in the past. You could throw them together next week, and I swear to you, in 2 to 3 weeks, they'll have a title match. Anyway, you get this title match, and it didn't even happen anyway, because Elias is beaten up backstage or taken out by the bloodline. So then Kevin Owens, so it's a title match, and people can just literally enter the title match as they choose. Oh, he needs a partner. I'll go for a title tonight, Adam Pearce. Owens is just walking the catering. He overhears that there's nobody going for a title. I guess I'll go for a championship tonight, Adam. Let me get my hot dogs. Let me get my cheese mac. I think they even got egg salad today before I have my triple layer mousse cake. Let me just eat my fucking meal, and then I'll give you a decision if I want to go for a title tonight. So then Kevin Owens hits the ring, and they have a match. He tags up with Riddle, and they have a match for literally like 20 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe a minute. It was roughly, I mean, all the segments together, over a half an hour to start the show. And, of course, Sami Zayn, Bloodline, all at ringside. Now, of course, the Usos are not going to lose this match. That's not my... Of course they shouldn't be. It's just the fact that we're just throwing title matches all the time to make up for poor or literally non-existent creative. So we think, oh, let's just throw the word title match. Right? Title match. U.S. title is on the line all the time. Tag titles when the U.S. title is not. because that will captivate an audience. No, the ratings are telling you that's not captivating anybody. It's making your championships look like absolute toy jokes, and it's making your wrestlers look even more embarrassing than the titles. Anyway, the Usos win the match. That's exactly what should be happening. They actually pin Riddle, and that's good because you save Owens a little bit, right? I mean, what Owens is even doing in a tag match because he started something with Roman and Solo is beyond me. Now, the confrontation with Kevin Owens and Solo is badass, by the way. That's a singles match. Until about a week ago, I never knew I needed to see until a week ago, and then I was like, fuck, give me that, please. So that's going to be badass. I want to see. I've already seen Owens and Roman Reigns in the past. But Solo and Owens, that's the match I'm looking forward to. And if you do it correctly, you could have a badass WrestleMania build to that son of a bitch. And then in Solo, by the way, paying homage to the big man upstairs, Umaga, with the spike. And then the ass to the shield chair to the face. Stink face. That was awesome, man. Solo showing some love over to Umaga. And what else? What else do I have to... Yeah, the confrontation with Solo and Kevin was probably the best. Kevin Owens chases off the bloodline, and that's when Solo really started to put the whooping onto Matt Riddle. So Solo, throughout this whole time, and I love the Usos, I really do. And you gave this match time to breathe. I understand, right? I always say that. Give it time to breathe. That's good. And it wasn't a circus either, by the way. For the most part, they kept it under traditional tag rules. But the takeaway for BC was Solo Sikoa. I mean, this dude is becoming a shining star already. A lot of people said, give it some time. In about a year or two, Solo's going to be big. And BC said, not so fast. If you do this correctly, in about a month or two, Solo is going to be huge. You're already starting to see, man, this dude's presence alone can sell matches. So I think what the biggest takeaway for BC here was Solo Sikoa and his star shining brighter every single appearance. Other than that, I don't want to see these type of tag matches in the future, man. Make your tag team division relevant and prestigious by acting like it's relevant and prestigious. Anyway, I'll move on because there's more show to get to. It's incredible to BC. That's all. I literally, BC can go down the road, pick up 98-year-old Mrs. Jenkins, form a tag team, and we'll get a title opportunity next week on Raw. Mrs. Jenkins with the flying frog splash. We laugh. But all you got to do is form a tag team in WWE, man. Your tag title match will be literally less than a month. It's like you go to the amusement park and it says wait time 60 minutes, and then 25 minutes into the thing, you're already on the ride. Well, what the fuck? That was quick. You call up the cable company. Your call will be monitored and may take up to 60 minutes. Fucking 6 minutes later, you're already on the line. You may get a title match in 1 month. You know what? Next week, you know what? We got nothing and nobody else. You're in. Title match. BC and Miss Jenkins. Carlos Ray and JR9 Gaming. Form a fucking team. Go for the titles. Anyway, moving on. Asuka versus Bayley versus Rhea Ripley ends hour number 1. And by the way, throughout the show, there was this invitational JBL poker tournament. Backstage, he makes this there's a couple of poker tables. On one table, you got Dominic Mysterio, no longer Ninja Tozawa, just Tozawa. Suit and tie Tozawa last night with Dominic, Dana Brooke, maybe Tamina. They were all on one table. On the other table, you had the OC, AJ Styles, Gallows, Anderson, Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, Dexter Loomis, JBL, Baron Corbin, Alpha Academy. That was throughout the show. Now, BC doesn't actually mind those type of things. I just wish they led to something that is meaningful, impactful, something we all give a shit about and we're enthralled with, right? Leaves us on the edge of our seat, right? You set that up throughout the night, and something from that poker table, from that poker room, leads to something cool. Instead, all we got from it was a Dominic Mysterio versus Tozawa match because Dominic stole some chips and Tozawa got heated. And a 6-man tag with the OC versus Baron Corbin in Alpha Academy. There you go. So that's what I mean. It's kind of forgettable. BC's already forgetting it. And it was just a 6-man tag. Now, the best part was Otis getting his comedy back, right? Slowly but surely, Otis is getting his comedy back. And you hear backstage when Dexter Lumis was kicking everybody's ass in poker, and JBL's like, he's a servant. There's no other explanation. He's a servant. And Otis goes, I love croissants. And JBL says, no, not croissant, servant. And Otis goes, I never had those. What do those taste like? And I'm like, oh, there's Otis, man. His beard is growing out, man. It looks like we're getting the old Otis back. And if you're going to have Chad Gable be a comedy act, and he's in a tag team with Otis, who is one of the most comedic people we've had over the years, then why not just put... What are you doing? Then just make Otis comedic then. But have them win matches, please. I mean, do you guys understand that Chad Gable has only... In his last 50 matches, Chad Gable has only won 5. 5 of 50. Those are some Austin Theory numbers before his reset. Now I believe he's at 10 of 50. But Chad Gable, 5 of 50. Do you guys realize that they have not won a tag team match in the last, I believe it's 6 or 7 months up front and maybe longer? But I just looked over the last half year. Chad Gable and Otis don't even have a tag team victory on television anyway, and I don't think at all. I'll go back and do a little bit more research, but I do not believe that they have any, not even house shows, guys, live events. They have no 2-on-2 tag team victories, and they're a tag team. It's not good. That's horrible. So all they have going for them is their comedy. You better have Otis have a personality. Get his personality back. And I saw signs of that last night as well. We'll get to the those matches as we progress through the show. Tozawa and Dominic and OC versus JBL Alpha Academy, stemming from the poker tournament. But these poker games, I don't mind the general aspect of them, right? What they're supposed to do for the show is just get away from the ring for a fucking minute and remind people that you have a television show. Keep going back to fun shit. Now, if that was fun or not, that's in the eye of the beholder. I wish it was better, and I wish it led to more. But I'm glad to see things like that back on the show. So there you go. Anyone that says, I'm not positive enough, well, there's a dose of positivity for you. Hour number 1 ends. So it was basically that first half an hour was the tag team title match. And then you had some poker bickering backstage, and then you went right into Asuka, Bayley, Rhea Ripley. Now, they're having 2 separate triple threats for the ladies last night. Asuka, Bayley, Rhea Ripley, and then in the main event will be Bayley, Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss. And all of this is just to get to the 2 winners, which will take on one another, and then the winner of that will go on to take on Bianca Belair. So we're doing another number 1 contender / mini tournament. That's all we're doing. It's the same Vinnie Mac shit. And this is all that Triple H does, we've noticed. He still refuses to have title matches revolve around awesome storytelling. Bianca Belair has been beating on or getting beat up by Damage Control for months. That's not a storyline, guys. When you're seeing the same type of bickering, the same type of segments even, and the same matches, beatings, it's not a storyline. It's just redundancy. And when it was all said and done, we're like, okay, now Bianca's going to get a story. But no, we're just going to have a little mini tournament, set up what we believe is going to be Alexa. Thankfully, Alexa finally has something going for her. Last night, she was backstage. Lily the doll is back. Now, as much as we don't want to see that, it's another hint that maybe we'll get her and Whip Bray soon. And then in the monitor in the back, Bray's logo popped up again. So that's good to see. And then if you want Alexa to, I don't know if it's going to be a heel per se, but a darker side of Alexa, whatever you want, and she takes on Bianca, of course BC's going to be down with that. But I'd much rather just kickstart the story. If that's the case, Alexa doesn't need to be winning mini tournaments. Let's just get cut to the chase. I was your fucking lackey for over 4 months. While you take the center stage against Damage Control, and me and Asuka are your lackeys, basically. I'm done with that. Boom, attack, and the story kicks off. Instead, Alexa's going to have to go through hurdles in a tournament-style, mini-tournament, win the fucking your three-way, then go on against the winner of that, then you earn your title match. Pro wrestling is based on storylines, man. Back in the day, you would have epic title matches, but there was story involved. There was a lot of story. It didn't matter if it was like Bret Hart and Bulldog and you had the family storyline that was sitting in their lap, or you had Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon with a phenomenal story revolving around their IC title matches. Shawn and Bret with their world title. Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan with their world title. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker didn't even have to have a title for 25. The storylines. No, these days you go through tournaments. We get number one contenders matches, or like the tag team division, we snap our finger and say, hey, you get a title match tonight. Because the company does not want to waste any time or energy getting creative. They're not having fun anymore. There's no creativity. No storylines. How do we come up with another... Oh, shit, Bianca has to have a title opponent. Shit. I got nothing. You got anything creatively? Johnson, no? No, what about Terry? Terry. Two-Tone, what do you got? Miss Jenkins, what do you got? Over here. Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer, you're the new hire. What do you got? Nothing? Fuckwad Fred. Luigi Lugnuts. Paulie Walnuts. Anybody. Just trying to thinking of something gets their fucking dome pieces smoking. Short circuit, we are now crashing. So then they're just like, all right, let's just throw everyone out there, have these mini tournaments, have them go on, and then maybe we can, maybe Alexa and Bianca haven't gone in a while, right? If ever, have they? No? Nobody knows? Maybe that? That's not nitpicking, man. It's redundancy. If you love it, that's awesome for you. I'm not even going to slam you for that. But I ask that you think of the other fans like BC, that we don't forget this. We want more. Our standards are higher. Our bar is higher because we love this shit and we just want it to be better. We don't want to watch the same type of shit over and over and over and over till we all want to hit a brick wall dome piece first. So if you love it, I'm not even bashing you. I'm hoping that one day you go, hey, I can see where BC and those people are coming from. The other fans, this has got to be fucking horrible for them. Because it is. Get creative, man. Pro wrestling should be more fun than this. You three go out there. An hour later, you three go out there. The winner of those matches, you'll go out there next week. The winner of that, you'll go on to take on the champ. Isn't this fun? I don't know how we're losing fucking in the ratings. I don't know how we're losing viewers by the week, by the show, by the fucking hour. I don't know how. This is so much fun. Takes me fucking 2 minutes to plan out the whole show. Of course it does. When it doesn't take time or energy, it's fucking easy. We're the ones who have to suffer through the 3 fucking hours. Like watching my Green Bay Packers this season. No, I'm not going to stop watching. I love my Packers. I'm with them when we win, and I'm right there when we fucking lose, being very vocal about what needs to change. That's what being a fan of something is. You love it, you want it to be better, and you see all the flaws, and you're hoping that management hears you. So we get this fucking 3-person match. Asuka, Bayley, and Rhea Ripley. Bayley ends up winning this match. I didn't even... It's a schmaz. I didn't even take really notes. Ripley looks strong. It was messy throughout. No question. And Bayley ends up winning this match. Defeats Asuka. Of course, Asuka's gonna have to take the fucking L here. You gotta protect Ripley. And Bayley needs fucking protection just as much these days because they damaged her in Damage Control so badly. And Asuka's just like damaged goods already. I mean, that's how the company looks at her. She's so expendable at this point for L's. They're like, hey, just go out there, take the L. And then afterwards, Ripley just takes out her frustration on fucking Asuka. Asuka just gets fucking bitched out every which way. Take the L. So Bayley looks good, and then get the shit kicked out of you so Rhea looks good, and hit the showers. Thanks for coming. Here's your paycheck. Thanks for being a pro wrestling independent contractor with World Wrestling Entertainment. Moving on. That's all I got to say about that. So then, Bayley's going to go on to take on the winner of the main event triple threat: Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and Becky Lynch. Maybe I said Bayley earlier. I don't know what the fuck. All these schmaz matches. Oh, get this. Remember I was saying title matches out of the blue? Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Now, this was a U.S. title match. Okay, Rollins and Lashley are going to meet next week, by the way, and they're going to be in a number one contender. So you got another number one contenders match to lay claim to who even gets the right to face Theory. I can't even. Do you guys understand how many times we've seen Bobby Lashley versus Theory? Do you understand that it's literally been 60+% of Bobby Lashley's matches this year has been with Theory? One-on-one, most of them. A lot of them on TV. Some tag matches. Do you guys realize that Lashley only has 2 victories in the last several months? But Theory and Lashley, Money in the Bank. This year's Money in the Bank, several months ago, we saw that match. SummerSlam, a month later, we saw that same match again, Lashley and Theory. Monday Night Raw, 3 times. Smackdown, we saw that match. House shows all across the country. Lashley, Theory, how many times? And they have nothing for Lashley months later. This is no longer a storyline, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. This isn't long-term storytelling. This is long-term redundancy. This is not having anything because there's no fucking story here. We're just seeing the match over and over and over and over. Could you imagine back in the day if Michaels versus Razor Ramon's story was just having the match over and over and over and over and over, most of them on television? Could you imagine if Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 92, can you imagine if before it went to that pay-per-view, we saw that match 52 times? I honestly, rematches are one thing. I understand. They're going to happen in wrestling. Some of them we want to see. Couple times, 3 times, 4, maybe 5 times. 6? Okay, now 7, we're getting a little carried away. But when it is all the fucking, and then you flip it, right? That's Lashley Theory. Then you make it Lashley Rollins one-on-one, which how many times have we seen that? I can't even fucking count it anymore. And then if you flip it again to Theory versus Rollins, just go back in the last 3 fucking months, and you want to put your dome piece into a brick wall. Yet they don't want to get creative. It is now post-Survivor Series. It's supposed to be a resetted Austin Theory. And we're getting the same components. Rollins and Lashley will fight each other, wrestle each other again next week, just to find out who gets to take on Theory for the 1,000th time. And then you wonder why everybody was sitting on their ass last night during Theory versus Ali, which should be a good fucking match. This is why nobody gave a fuck. This is why Theory was getting the chant. The loudest chant was, "You still suck. You still suck." Yeah, the resetted Theory is getting "you still suck" chants. Because it's not that much different to these people. And they're sitting down because nobody gives a fuck. It doesn't make sense. Lashley and Rollins are still involved in this fucking mid-card title because Roman doesn't want to work Mondays. And then you totally twist the realm of factual and reality and believability, the realm of facts, when you put Ali into a title match before Rollins and Lashley even have their number one contenders match. How does Ali get a fucking title match when he's been losing every single match he's been in, and his record is so bad, he's been losing matches he's not even in? Go figure. But Ali's record is so... Ali loses all the time. How does he get a U.S. title match? And Lashley is involved in this fucking mid-card bullshit. A guy who fails a cash-in during a Monday Night Raw for a mid-card title during an open challenge. You cannot be any more stupid. And Lashley has to involve himself with... that's your champion. In the title match last night is a guy who just does nothing but lose. Brooklyn Brawler status the last 2 months. Ali. It's not shade to Ali. That's just how he's booked. But how did he get a fucking title match? I want to know just the same way as how did fucking Riddle and Kevin Owens get a tag title match? How is Ali getting a title match? And now we got to see Lashley and Rollins next week just to earn another fucking match for the 1,000th time with the same guy that they've been wrestling, not feuding, not storylining with, wrestling for the last year. Forgive me or not, I don't give a shit if I'm not on board with such trash booking. And you watch that crowd, you listen to them, and you say, oh man, this crowd is dead, they're horrible. Well, can you blame them? Scary botch in this match, man. Ali went to do a hurricanrana onto Theory top rope. Theory sitting on the rope. It looked like Theory was supposed to catch him, maybe do a power bomb from the ropes. Theory just could not hold. He was not strong enough to hold Ali up, and they both took a tumble. Ali looked like he was about to land on his head neck. And that could have been horrible. At the very end, they rolled a mega botch by Austin Theory and Ali. I'm not going to rip that apart. I'm just glad they're safe. And I think that's the only thing we're going to remember from this match. Ziggler shows up, Dolph Ziggler. Super kicks Theory, which disqualifies Ali. Theory wins the match via DQ. And Ali's upset with Dolph. What the heck? That was my chance to win a title. Nobody told Ali. Ali doesn't realize that you're going to get 80,000 more titles before your release actually comes up because they don't have anything else. You'll get plenty of more title opportunities, even on your losing streak. So while they're bickering, Dolph and Ali, Theory comes back in and, he's temper tantrum. He's a more vicious Theory. If you didn't know, commentary told you 8,000 times last night that this new vicious Theory is better than ever. Triple H is really trying to sell his horrible idea last month with the botched cash-in heard round the world. And now Triple H wants you to everyone to believe that this is a resurrected Theory. Well, the crowd will tell you bullshit. The piped-in boos that H has been doing the past several weeks will tell you that. The fake, shocked, planted fans at Survivor Series when Theory won the title. 20 seconds after he wins, people more shocked than The Undertaker losing his undefeated WrestleMania streak. Yeah, that's believable. H is doing everything he possibly can to get people to think that this is that much different of a Theory. It's the same fucking I'm holding a phone, taking a selfie Theory. He's just a little bit more temper tantrumed. And he in a rage takes out Ali and takes out Ziggler. And the fans couldn't give a fucking shit. Instead, the same chant came back. You still suck. You still suck. Of course, BC was right. And again, I like Theory. If you're new to the channel, I actually like Theory. I still think there's a bright future for the kid if he's just booked correctly. Do not try to sell me that the Theory we get now, and all of this is leading to just more Rollins, Lashley, and even Ali title matches. All of that needed to be done the way that it was with that embarrassing cash in the botch heard around the world. We had to do it that way to get this Theory? That's bullshit. Major bullshit. So again, you had Theory win this match via DQ because Theory got super kicked. And Ali was pissed off. But yeah, that botch, man, that's what we're all going to remember. I'm very, very glad. I'm hoping anyway. I mean, I didn't get the medical report from both dudes afterwards, but I believe they're okay. They continued the match and the post-extracurricular activities after the match with Ziggler. Everybody finished that. So that was just a horrible botch. And just glad everybody is safe involved in that contest. The OC versus Alpha Academy and Baron Corbin. Again, this match stemmed from the poker tournament, poker fucking bullshit. This is a schmaz. Gallows, Anderson, they defeated Gable. I believe it was the Magic Killer, and Gable was defeated by Gallows, if I remember correctly. Again, not too many notes taken here. These are schmaz matches. That's it. That was really it, guys. Poker room bickering, and then it leads to a 6-man schmaz. I have nothing else that nothing, not too much notes, and not too much more to say. And then we just went into the other poker bickering table spot, the poker room bickering fucking recess. I'm going to fight you by the oak tree. Oh, yeah, not if I'm at the oak tree first. Tozawa versus Dominic Mysterio. Again, Dominic stole some chips at the poker table. Tozawa got pissed off. I'll see you in the ring. So there you go. Tozawa versus Mysterio. Of course, Dominic wins. Dominic was always going to. Dominic is not going to win by Tozawa. Listen, it's sad that Tozawa has not gained a victory since 1925. I understand, but he's not going to beat Dominic Mysterio here, man. Tozawa goes for the senton, and it was the frog splash from Dominic that ended Tozawa. I guess the best news here is that this was pretty quick. A couple of minutes, you go get a cup of coffee, you come back, the match was fucking done. This was just to get some, just to get a quick little recognition match for Dominic Mysterio. If that's the case, just put in Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer. Put in Fuckwad Fred. Just put in a jobber for 2 minutes. You're not going to lose any more people, man. You'll probably gain viewers because they're like, oh, I'm going to see this fucking schmuck get tooled on. But no, it's Tozawa. That's just literally people not giving a fuck. No offense, man. We love Tozawa. Good dude. He's doing everything they ask. But it's not like they believe that this guy is any threat, so why should the audience? And then, guys, you went right into the main event. Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, the second triple threat match, just to take on the winner of the first triple threat match, which was Bayley. Io and Dakota come out. They take out Becky Lynch. You know Becky wasn't going to win this because Becky and Bayley are involved in something, and I like that because there's no title on the line. It's old school, right? You didn't have to go for titles to be involved in a story. Back in the day, every match on the pay-per-view card had a story of some sort. So you don't need a title. Becky, Bayley. There you go. Sells itself. They had a good little one-on-one, by the way, a promo face-to-face earlier in the night. And I like that because Bayley just had enough and started telling everybody, like, you guys don't understand. Everything I'm doing is for you, for the division, for all of us. And you don't see that because you're too stupid. And then Becky was talking about just how badly Bayley's been booked, basically. She's like, damage control is pretty good. I see two winners, former tag title holders, Dakota and Io. But I see one loser who hasn't held nothing. Talking about Bayley. So that was some good promo work between the two of them. But this match, Io and Dakota take out Becky Lynch, so she saves face. There's a reason she didn't win, so I don't mind that at all. Took her a double powerbomb through the table, and if you go back and watch, Io looked like she got face planted through the same table. Io looked like she fucked herself up in that spot. And then that allowed Alexa Bliss, Twisted Bliss, onto Nikki Cross. 1, 2, 3 for the W. And again, earlier in the night, you saw the Bray Wyatt logo. Lily the doll is back, unfortunately. We all were happy when that left. But it looks like, damn it, Triple H! Vince McMahon, this is a Vince decision. There's no way that H is making her carry that doll. I'm telling you guys right now, for anybody that thought Vince is totally done, because that's what you're hearing, it's bullshit. Lily the doll is a merchandise crusher for it in a good way. A merchandise fucking gainer is what I mean by crusher. And even if it's a bad idea, at least H I've seen in the past, like if it's just a really bad idea, at least he will ex-nay it. Vince, he will keep it no matter what. And guess what? It's back. So that's definitely Vince and Kennedy. You could hook her up, link her back with Bray, and not have fucking Lily the doll, or come up with something better at least. Damn it, I want Lily back. You hear me, you doofus son-in-law. So VKM brings back, but at least we got the Bray logo, and it looks like there's more hints to that Alexa now. Alexa beats Nikki. Alexa versus Bayley next week. And then I expect Becky to cost Bayley that match. And then Alexa will have a smooth sailing into Bianca Belair, and hopefully by then there's just a more vicious, more darker, just different character as a whole with Alexa. Something she can be proud of. For months she's been doing interviews and talking about how she's in flux. They don't know what to do with her, and she's just not having as much fun as she once had, especially with Bray. And it's she's just going through the motions, and we're seeing that because we're feeling the same thing as an audience. So hopefully this is all done much better going forward. But good for Alexa. Good to see her with that W. We'll see what it leads to. I hope when it's all said and done, it leads to her and Bray Wyatt. Like I said, some of you guys are for that. Some of you guys are against that. If you're wondering what BC is, if you're new to the channel, I cannot wait for Bray and Alexa to reunite. And by the way, we talk about Uncle Howdy and all that stuff, man, and then the family of Bray possibly playing roles with this new Wyatt character, maybe Bo Dallas. Much love and respect to Barry Windham. Barry... A lot of people thought Uncle Howdy resembled Barry. Barry was actually just taken, and you know what? He was taken to the hospital within the last, it was a day or two, and I don't want to say massive heart attack. Yeah, wow. See, I didn't want to say anything without having my facts straight. Fox News reported this first. Barry Windham suffered a massive heart attack on Friday while traveling through Atlanta and is currently in the ICU. Windham, 62 years old. Suffered a massive heart attack. Wow. They started a GoFundMe for Windham because his medical history and limited work left him without health insurance. To face these times is one of the great stress and hardships, as well as one that comes with extensive medical expenses he is taking on that is overwhelming, to say the least, is a statement on the GoFundMe. If you guys want to check that out. Dustin Rhodes has reached out. Just heard the news about my longtime friend Barry Windham. Please say a prayer. The Iron Sheik, Barry Windham's toughest man in the sport. I love him forever. He is my brother. So a lot of the wrestling community showing their love. And again, this was posted a while back, so probably many more people have come out. I'm hoping that he is stable and okay, guys. I'm still learning a lot. Again, I'm out of state. I just glanced over that story originally because I was involved in other business, and then I was like, wait, what was the big procedure? Because I just read that originally that it was a procedure. A sudden procedure that he went in with, and now trying to get more news on it, on Barry. So anyway, for Barry Windham, hold on, guys, trying to get any more news on it. All right, well, I'm not coming to... So that no news is good news sometimes, guys. No news is good news. So you know what? I'm going to hope that he's stable and everything is good. And to Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, and Barry Windham's whole family, much love and respect. Of course, Bray, Bo, the nephews of Barry Windham. So very close family there. And this is a pro Bray Wyatt channel, so... Anyway, guys, not to end this on a somber note like that, but no choice, man. We want to throw up those prayer emojis and much love over to Barry Windham, to the Windham family, to the Rotunda family, to Bray, to everybody involved, man. Barry Windham is somebody that BC grew up with in the old WCW days, guys. I'm talking way before Nitro. This was like Surfer Sting, when Vader was called Big Van Vader. Mick Foley was Cactus Jack. It was old school WCW, and Barry Windham was just somebody that BC was just, I mean, that was just one of my dudes. You know, I shouldn't be too shocking that these days it's Bray Wyatt. You know, that family always kind of captivated BC. The Blackjack Mulligans, those type of individuals. And, you know, his close work with the Four Horsemen. I mean, Barry Windham. And back then you had the different type of action figures, and Barry Windham was always one of the coolest ones. Yeah, I was always making him champion and all that, man. So anyway, I wanted to spend a couple minutes saying much love, prayers, strength over to Barry Windham, his entire family. And again, as I said, guys, Raw ended with Alexa Bliss in this little mini tournament to decide Bianca's championship opponent next. Whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever, man. I just wish we'd stop with these stupid number one contender matches all the time. Once in a while, okay. All the time, number one contender. Or a tournament. Or a mini tournament. A gauntlet match to fight. Just start a feud. And we will all, and if it's with somebody that's been earning their just due anyway over the several months before that, then we're going to just naturally progress to a title match like we used to do. Nobody is honestly looking at this any better than if we had a real storyline. Nobody's going, wow, they really earned it. They won the mini tournament. Nobody's going to look at that match next week with Rollins and Lashley for the 500th time. And one of them finally gets the match with Theory for the 1,000th time. That matchup. Rollins Theory 1,000th time and Bobby Lashley Theory will be for 1,000th time. We've seen all of them for 6 months plus. And there's no fucking story. It's just the same repetitive matches. Nobody is going to look at that match next week after they say, well, but it was number one contenders. So they earned it. No, it's just they've been getting title matches. They've been involved in the same fucking matches for months. Now you just put a fancy title on it. I'm going to earn my... So they have to do that while fucking Ali, that loses every match, Ali just magically gets a title match? Are you going to resurrect the Brooklyn Brawler and give him a title match? When Barry Windham, which we hope he does, rises from that hospital bed, shakes it off, dusts it off at 62 years old and jumps out of that hospital, does he go right into a title match? Okay, that one I'd actually want to see. Barry for the W. It's just stupid, man. While I was watching this show, I just couldn't help but think, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Much love and respect, guys. Until next time, you know the routine. Think, be, live, amplified, always. Top guy, I'm fucking out. BC saying check you.